Thank you for the reminder. Hello, everybody. I was pointing to the sweet card that Nikki sent me. It's such a keepsake. It was so sweet. I wasn't even expecting that. It was lovely. And your mama raised you right, hon. That was so sweet. That was unexpected. So I save it. Thank you, Kathleen, for letting me know about turning on the microphone. And I'm so glad to see all of you here. Today is March 1st. And there's Jody Kleban. And I was mentioning others' names. Marcia is here, and Susan and Nikki and Mariella. Hello, darling. And let me see who else. I love looking at these names. And Jody, I got your picture, and I know I loaded it today, so we're really lucky. Nana by the Gulf. I'm so tickled. Yes, we have an IO group, Nana, and we'd love for you to join. That's where we get to talk some more and have a good time. So let's see. I hope everyone had a good week. Sonia's here. I'm so tickled. In fact, Sonia, I'm cutting out some fabric. You know, I hate when I forget to turn the sound on, and I don't do it as often as I used to. But when I see, I go back and check the videos later, and when I see myself talking and nothing coming out, although Mark might like it that way. But anyway, is Mary Zaire here too? This is wonderful. Tiffany's here. I love that we have such sweet people in this group. And they always make people feel welcome. And that is one comment that I've heard more and more everywhere. So thank you all for being so kind. In fact, I got a really cute bumper sticker for my car. I put it on the back window, and it just talks about being kind, because I think it's one of the things that we need most in this life, don't we? I mean, you know, you can watch the news and become all depressed, and you know, it's just a mess. So be kind to each other. In fact, I'll never forget when my counselor that I still love and used to go to, she told me one time that she doesn't get mad at people who cut her off on the road or maybe make an obscene gesture towards her, because she always thinks, you never know what happened in their day. Maybe they got some really bad news. Maybe something terrible happened in that day. And you know what? Once I thought of it that way, I thought, she's right. And not only that, but it's not worth the damage it does to me to get angry when you can just let it go. And so I try very hard. I'm not saying I'm perfect. There are days I kind of, but that helps me on most of my days. Try to remember that you just don't know what that person's day is like. So let's see who else is here. I've got to do something, and this is probably a little rude, but I ate a leftover submarine sandwich that I made for myself last night, and something's is up in my tooth. I'll take some thread and get it out. Hold on. I can't stand it when something's caught in my tooth. So now I feel better. See, you never know what I'm going to do. I don't stand on ceremony. I'm not sure what I stand on. Probably quicksand. So hello, everyone. But anyway, I'm so glad to see, Maureen Colas is here. So glad to see Patricia Fry is here. So I tell you what, it's sunny outside and a little bit warmer than it's been. My daughter said she had snow on the ground yesterday morning. It was chilly yesterday, but it is awfully good to see you. And the nicest thing is always warm when we're together. So we have a very warm community group here, and I value you all so much. So, you know who Chris Johnson is? That's my boy. In fact, Chris, I was going to show them one of the videos of little Russell, and I noticed you've taken him off your group. And it's like, oh, no. But Chris had sent me, this is my wonderful son, Christopher, and he's a wonderful daddy to Russell, and a new one on the way in August. So, but anyway, we have, I know they love Russell to bits, and I was going to show them the videos you sent, and I went, they're gone. So, but always too, they're on your other channel now. Well, maybe if you can shoot me a little email, if you don't mind me showing them. If you ever don't want me to show something, if it's too personal, just let me know. And that's, I honestly understand. I respect that. But I tell you what, they love seeing pictures and videos of Russell as much as I do. And it's so exciting. I was telling Christopher that Russell has lots of aunties all over the world now. But Nikki, Chris's wife, and Chris are doing such a wonderful job with them. I can't tell you what it means to watch that little boy being raised with such love and such freedom and inspiration. I mean, he's a great kid. And Chris was telling me he loves the theme song to his favorite show even more than the show. So he's born into musical parents, and he's showing great signs. So he is amazing. But I'm not going to be going to the pineapple fabric sale in March because I'll be going to see my son, his wife, and Russell. So I can't wait. And my daughter, Becky, who you know, and her daughter, Charlotte, will be staying home. But Becky and I, we are going together to go see. So, yes, we do get. Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard on me being 6 hours away, and it's not an easy drive. So I know that my years of driving up there are going to be a little more limited, but it's so precious, so absolutely precious. So anyway, and I love seeing when he and Nikki can perform. That's a joy. In fact, I think I told y'all that I took Russell to one of their performances at Christmas, and he was just amazed watching mom and dad make all that music. So 20 aunties, that's right. That is right. So true. Well, what I was doing when y'all came is cutting out fabric because you know that I made my mandala. Okay. Made my mandala center. And remember, I was saying I'm looking for a quilt to put it in because I want to make it part of a larger quilt. I found a pattern to put it in. And remember, I wanted to put my mandala on point, and this will be the fabric. But if Chris is still here, I'd like to show you something because he hasn't seen this one. And I have been such a busy gal. Let me tell you, I have been so busy. But this, Christopher, I don't know if you're here, but this is, I do a live stream on Thursdays, and this is the quilt we've been doing on the live stream. And what I did is we were supposed to be doing a live stream that had something to do with birds. And so I thought to myself, how about do flamingos? Well, everybody said, do flamingos because we have flamingos everywhere. It's kind of our theme now. And then I was looking at pictures of the flamingos, and it made me think of the Edgar Degas paintings of the ballet dancers in France. And I even made a tiny little Degas painting on muslin because that's the inspiration I got to do the 3 flamingos. And guys, do you remember Thursday I was making, the ballerinas. Remember Thursday I was using the polymer clay to make the eyes? Well, I got them baked and glued on. Maybe I should have waited till I quilted it, but I think it'll be fine. The feathers I put under the layer, and I'll be putting more layers on top. So anyway, but Chris, I used fabric paint to paint what was it came from it was a background in one of the Degas paintings, and I did it on the walls. So they're in the Opera House ballroom. And so anyway, it's almost finished. We're getting there, ladies. But Christopher, you know where you got your unusual ideas. Well, here we go. Because remember, guys, I showed you a picture. Let me see. Hold on. What, Chris, don't go anywhere quite yet. I mean, if you have to teach or something, I understand. But I want to show them a picture. And I've showed them before. But since you're here, my son was a very creative child. And luckily, I let him run with it, especially after my sister gave me good advice and said, Deb, it's only hair. So this was my son, his senior year in high school. And this is the hairstyle that he did for Christmas season. And he actually had a little battery-powered lights, little miniature ornaments. Is that the coolest thing? And I forget how he got it to stand up like that. But it was amazing, amazing. And needless to say, with his creativity, he got the senior superlative best hair. In fact, when he won a band award, the John Philip Sousa Award for band, he had to come up on stage to get the award. And there was a big Marine with dress blues on. My son had a purple ponytail. Yep, that's my Christopher. But I always told him his creativity sets him apart. It makes him special. It makes him unique as he is. So anyway, yes, it was absolutely the cutest. And now he has hair halfway down his back. So between he and his wife, we knew their child would have amazing hair, and he does. So it is amazing. So anyway, sorry, Chris, I get you here and then I show your high school pictures. But, and my son, Tiffany, you'll like this. Tiffany, he has an eyebrow ring. And I always look at that and just go, wow, okay. But Tiffany will appreciate it because she has her own piercings. So hair gel and Elmer's glue. That's right. And I got to tell one more story with Chris's here because I'm so proud of him and I love him so much. My daughter ended up dating his band director. They were the same age and he had this new band director. And so when they went out on a date, the band director said, I've got this student who I walked out of the room one day for a minute out to the hall. I come back in and he's taken can spray chrome paint and painted his hair with chrome paint. He said, I honestly didn't know what to do. And my daughter said, that's my brother. But Christopher he marches to the beat of his own drum. And that's wonderful because he is a drummer. He's a very accomplished percussionist. He went over to the high school marching band in 7th grade. He's amazing. So anyway, so I love it. In fact, I've noticed, I thought all of my fairy hair had fallen out, but I've only got one strand left. So I said, Charlotte, I need you to put some more fairy hair in. So, and then my one daughter has blue hair. So now we all believe in, if it makes you happy, do it. Christopher has been a good role model for us. We're not so uptight anymore. So anyway, but what I'm doing, Sonia, my dear Sonia, I cut the first strip out. This quilt that I was telling you about, you make from a distance, they look like log cabin. But what it really is what would you call it? It's kind of it's a center square. I'm not sure exactly what you would call it. Oh, is Chris leaving? See you, sweetie. Take care, hon. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Have a good day, Chris. Yeah, because I didn't think he'd stay around here long. Talking about quilting is not his thing. Although in high school, he used to make his own jeans. It was back in the late 90s when you made jeans as wide as you could possibly make them. And then he used duct tape to make backpacks, jeans, and just about anything. So really, really talented. Anything he wants to do, he can do. So Mark was talking about he's getting ready to move, and he was talking about moving his studio. And Mark said, which, Mark's not very effusive. He said, his studio is so amazing. All of the soundproofing and the decor and the way he has it set up and how clean and orderly. And he was like, that's going to be a big thing to move. So he's a great kid. But anyway, to make these blocks, you do it with strip sets. Well, you can't beat that. So I started cutting my strips to make that. But anyway, okay. So today I wanted to talk to you. Oh, here's something I can show you. All right. You remember I made this last week. I had to put a different ribbon on it because the other one was too slippery and I wanted something that would hold. So I did a grosgrain. And grosgrain, once you tie the knot, the little ridges help it hold. But anyway, I already packed this up. I said, I don't want this just to become something cute that sits somewhere. I want to use it. So let me show you. Okay, you good people. Let's see. Let me bring the camera down. Mark got the 2 elbow units, so hopefully the camera is going to work wonderfully. Okay. So I was showing it to Mark, and he didn't like how this part hung out of the bottom. So it had a nice factory finish, and so I just flipped it over and sewed it. But let me turn it around so you can better see it. I wanted to show you, in case you're thinking about making one, I wanted to show, in fact, here I've got it loaded with sewing supplies, but I just thought I would show you what I've done. And now, that's my LaFleur. And now let me press this one and then I'll show this one to you. But I wanted to tell you, this is the first, because I made one of these years ago. And one of the things that I hadn't thought about before this one is that putting the several sheets of flannel on this really allows you to pack more. That's a good idea, Kathleen. That's a very good idea. So what I'm doing, I've totally finished this LaFleur block, but before Miss Bonnie sees it, I want to make it presentable and press it so she doesn't think I am just the rudest thing. Let me press it really good. And I'm going to tell you right now, be gentle to me. I do my applique by hand. And most of the time anyway. Okay. And then that way I'll show you how I've started on my next block. Okay. Let me press it now from the correct side. Let me get all my little threads off of here. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I've got several more important things to show you and then some great photos. And now some wonderful videos. All right, yay. Now I can show you, because Miss Bonnie's is perfection, and mine will never be perfection, but I wanted to have her looking as pretty as I could. So thank you, Susan. Well, that's the one thing here. We don't allow any quilt policing, and we all appreciate whatever that level is that you quilt at. And, I'm going to say this again. I said it last. I'm making my video for the Jenny Buyer. I'm trying to finish that up. And I heard the greatest thing on a Fons and Porter show the other day. And Mary Fons, the daughter, said she was teaching a class, and one of her students said, I don't quilt for perfection. She said, if I were going to try to make it perfect, I would not use fabric. And I thought, amen, sister, because fabric is just too movable. You're never going to get perfection out of fabric. But anyway, here's the one that's all made. I think this is an absolutely gorgeous block. And I'm so glad Miss Bonnie found it. Now let me come back over here and show you again. So I wish I almost, and I can add at any point, I love the flannel pages of this book, because then I can put this one here. Then I can pull this one back. And in fact, look what I put under here. Under here, I put all my scraps that I need to cut out new pieces. So look at the layers. Remember this when you make one? I would put several layers of just a plain white flannel. And if you did colored flannel, you want to make sure that none of your colors will run. And let me tell you why. Because what if you spilled your drink on this? So just use white flannel if you possibly can. This is my newest block, okay? And what I've done, nothing is sewn down. It's only, I took white glue, school glue, and I put the pieces down. See how they're fluffy? I put the pieces down with a dot of glue. Pieces down, dot of glue. And now I have to cut out some more pieces to go here. The black pieces, and then there's some long ones that have to be cut out. But I can pick this up at anywhere, at any point, and start stitching, because I've made sure that all of this is where it belongs. And then I do needle turns, so all I have to do is turn the fabric and stitch it down. So now let me show you what is inside. Because if I keep this packed up, then I am ready at any point. I am ready to go. So this side is the lid. Remember I told you I was thinking about putting another piece of fabric on it. All right. Yes, that definitely be kinder to ourselves. Now, if I were neat and organized, I would have these in a baggie, but I haven't quite gotten it. I'll find a little baggie to put them in. I need something small enough to easily go in there. But these are all my pieces to put on the blocks. So let's see though, what else? There are my little pieces, okay? I have a green silk, a black silk, and a pink silk. Now, I was telling someone, if you don't want to buy each $6 spool of silk thread, they last forever, but I would buy a gray, a medium gray, because it blends with everything. I have my favorite thimble right here. And these are the kind you can buy, and you put them in a cup of boiling water, and you leave them in there for at least, I would say a minute if you can. Then scoop it out carefully as soon as you can. Put it on your finger. Don't burn your finger, but put it on your finger. Let it cool on your finger. Then it will fit perfectly. And if it ends up shrinking over time, do it again. Here's a little piece of beeswax. Here are my applique needles. Here is a little school glue. If I want to use this, I don't want to wait for the liquid glue to dry, and I didn't want to put a container of glue in there, so I just put a glue stick. I've got a tiny little seam ripper. I've got a pair of scissors, and I have a little piece of a broken tailor's chalk. So by having all of this in here, all I do is pick this up when I am going off, or if I'm going to go sit in my favorite chair, I pick this up and I'm ready. And you can lay this on your lap and it'll act as a work desk. And the nicest thing is, by having this layer of fabric that goes over the edge, look how tightly that lid fits. So this is a very, very good thing, and I'm thrilled with it. So then I just tie it in a nice knot, and the grosgrain holds really well. And now I'm ready to go. Isn't that neat? And that was free. I spent nothing to make this. I had everything here. So it looks like we've got a new person visiting us. Let's see. I'm back. Oh, great. Joey Cordier. Very nice to see you. Yeah, if there's anybody new, let me know. I'm so tickled. And I don't see Diane 57. She worked very hard, Susan, when you were not here, to cover all the bases. And she really tried. And I noticed a couple other people helping at the same time. Wasn't that sweet? Because our Susan's amazing. She can do 50 different things at one time. In fact, if I could ever win the zillionaire lottery and then could find somebody like a Susan to work for me, my life would be perfect. I would have everything organized. It'd be amazing. So anyway, Bonnie is here. Bonnie is pretty excited. She's got a cute cottage in her future. I mean, precious. And so she's got a lot on her plate. Y'all are just all doing so well. Our Diana Wright had her bag featured on the Fat Quarter Shop's video yesterday. So where they show their the photos on their Facebook page, look for our Diana Wright. So talented. I also wanted to send out a shout out to Laura Coey on So Very Easy, her YouTube channel. I'm so excited. Hi, Cher. It is great to see you. And we would love you to join our group and come see us. We're here every Sunday at 3:05 p.m. And now I do a Thursday night, which we're going to be talking about. I do a Thursday night art or landscape quilt tutorial. I live stream every Thursday. So, but Laura Coey at So Very Easy Quilts has had a book published, and she just had a video on yesterday where she opened the box and got to hold her own first book. I was so touched by it. Oh, you're making a baby dress. Ooh, I love that. Does it have any lace? I'm hoping I get to make baby dresses. We'll see what Nikki has this time. But hi, Kim. I love seeing you here, Kim. So anyway, but if you get a chance, go over and check out So Very Easy with Laura Coey. She's she's been doing this for years, and I'm just so tickled when I see somebody have that much initiative and work that hard and then get to enjoy the successes and keep up with her. She's turning a big space in her basement into an amazing sewing room. So that, I can't wait. I love sewing room tours because I learn something from everyone. So, You're sewing Dresden's to background fabric. Okay, are you doing it machine applique, hand applique? How are you doing it? And how do you finish the tips of your Dresden? Do you round them off and applique them on? Or do you sew a seam in them and turn them right side out so it's a finished pointed edge? How do you do yours? Machine. Good job. Kim, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to Kim. Yay. Oh, you don't want me singing that. All right. So I've been very, very busy. Like I told you, I showed you all my flamingo girls. They're getting better and better. And just because I didn't want to waste all that work, I hid some of those feathers under their skirts. But I'm going to put more tulle on their skirts. I made their eyeballs, as I showed a minute ago. Got those baked and glued on. Easy as pie. So this is all going really well. Something I have to still work on, and I have to get this done in 2 weeks, is because I'm going to go see my grandson. So did you hear me say I can't do the pineapple fabrics because they're sale in March, because I'll be up seeing my grandbaby? But that's the only reason I'm missing it. So this one has a lion and a giraffe and a zebra and an elephant. So I've got to do this. And maybe I'll work on it next Sunday and kind of give you a few little hints and tips on how to make good stuffed animals, especially for babies, because there's a few extra steps you have to take. So I've got that to work on. Then Miss Sonia has already finished her beautiful Jenny Beyer Stellaris quilt. I got through step 7 and then haven't touched it for months. I got too busy. But I'm very proud of myself, Sonia. I yesterday spent all day working on my Stellaris. And I'm almost finished with step 8. Then I have the finishing step, step 9. And I want to tell you something I did, because it's not a normal Deb thing to do. I always start a quilt out like, I start out thinking, I'm going to see if it's good enough if I can make it good enough to enter a quilt show. And 99.5% of the time, it doesn't work out that way. But, okay, what I did this time, and it's still, this one is not show quality. I found that I had done 2 different size seam allowances. I didn't realize this until I went to my last class, and I had sewn a bunch of things and my blocks, and they measured 12.25 instead of 12.5. And I realized that's when I started putting the little stick down 1/4-inch guides. So I had the same problem with this one. Let me show you little ways you can see. See how those star points aren't quite exactly opposite of each other? Those are the little things you can tell. Also, not all of my star points show. Some of my star points kind of get lost. Now, then, and this is a quilt, you have to cut it accurately and you have to sew it accurately. It's not hard. You just have to be careful. I'm not good at careful. I've got to be honest. I heard Mary Fonz on the same show that I heard that wonderful line, if I wanted to make it perfect, I certainly wouldn't use fabric. And because wood or plastic, any of that would do a more accurate job than fabric. But another thing she said, which made me feel so good, because we all know I'm a little attention deficit, I admit it. But Mary said most quilters that she knows have a hard time concentrating, and they're in a hurry, they're impatient, and they want to get to the next thing. That made me feel so good. I thought, I'm not alone in this disorder. And I wouldn't change who I am. I really wouldn't change who I am, because I see so many things and I get so excited about so many things. And I kind of like that about myself. Sometimes I wish I could concentrate a little better or stay focused a little better. Sometimes I wish I didn't have 50 UFOs. But at the same time, I'm having a blast. And when it comes down to it, that's what matters. So anyway, but I'm just showing you some of the ways that by not sewing that accurate 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch off doesn't sound bad until you multiply it 16 times. Then you've got a problem. But one thing I am proud about myself is that what I'm proud of myself about, I said some of these, see these intersections? These intersections are sewn separately. This piece is solid, but these are from 2 different blocks sewn on at 2 different times. Some of my intersections were off, and it didn't look right, and it didn't make me happy. Some of my star points were cut off 1/4 of an inch. So what I did is yesterday, when I was so anxious to get the video made, which it's almost all done, so look this week for a video. And even if you're not doing the quilt that I have the video about, I give tips and hints along the way, things I've learned while I'm doing it. I like teaching from my experience, because I feel like that if I have this happen, you might have it happen too. And if I can help you with something I've learned, I'll do that. But I sat here yesterday and took this thing apart with a seam ripper. Everywhere I wasn't happy, I took it apart and tried again. Some of them were so tricky. The star points weren't in the corner, that I had to take it apart and do it by hand and then come back with the machine. Try to remember when you're working on something like a Y seam, they're really not bad if you follow the rules of where it says stop 1/4 inch from that intersection, stop 1/4 inch before the intersection, do a locking stitch so it doesn't unwind while you're trying to get it fit in. But what I found, if you have a problem and you're having a block you just can't get together, do it by hand. Now, I know to some people that'll make you break out in hives, but trust me, if you do it by hand, then you can come back and go over it by machine. But sometimes, especially when we're trying to do a tight corner, it's hard to get in there with the sewing machine. But just baste it by hand, then you can come back and do it. Another thing I found, some of these things didn't want to line up. And like I had this piece to make with these 3 pieces, and it just didn't want to line up where it had to cross over. What I did is pinned and just sewed that little junction where they cross. Opened it up. If I liked it, I left it. If not, I tore it out. But that way, you don't have to tear out the whole long section to get that important junction to match. Okay, so these are my little hints from today. But anyway, I just wanted to show you, all I have to do is I have 3 more of these corners to sew on. Once I'm done with that, then I have the finishing border details to handle, and then I can put this puppy on the frame and get it quilted. So, all right. So I just wanted to show you, you've got that to look forward to this week. And today when I show you photographs, remind me to show you Sonia's Stellaris quilt. Sonia is a very talented quilter, and I don't know if she takes the extra time or if it comes easier to her, but she sews beautifully. She's an excellent piecer. Her pieces are where they're supposed to be. I just love it. And you know what? I'll never be that kind of piecer. Michelle Lang does beautiful piecing. That's never going to be me. But that's okay, because each person has that skill that they are so good at. And so, you know what? I'll enjoy Sonia and Michelle's quilts. And then they probably will enjoy my enthusiasm or quirky ideas like putting flamingo in a Degas. So we all have our area that we shine at. And you know what? Let's celebrate that. And I would rather focus on the thing that's my gift than to worry about the gifts I wasn't given. What did I hear someone say yesterday? They weren't gifted, or they weren't given the binding gene. But certain things just don't work for this brain, but other things are my signature. So we all enjoy that. All right, so now we've talked about that. Oh, I know what we're going to talk about today. So let me turn around this quilt over here. Our Nadine quilt and our Cheryl Flamingo quilt. This is inspiration today. Most of you have probably seen this before, but this is our inspiration. Okay, we were talking Thursday night, and I was asking for ideas. Like, I thought of a waterfall quilt for our next project. Cheryl thought of a log cabin quilt for our next thing. And I think it was Maureen. No, who was it? Kim, maybe, that's talked about Eye of Horus. And then, so we had all talked about all these ideas, and I wanted to put them out there and say, let's vote. Kathleen Ziegler came up with an undersea quilt. Well, bing! The lights went off. The confetti fell from the ceiling. We've got a winner. I got so excited. So we are going to start this Thursday night with an undersea challenge, okay? And I want to show you a few things to give you some ideas, and I'll give you more ideas Thursday night. This is a quilt that I did probably 8 years ago, and it is a joy. I don't know if you've ever had a quilt that just makes you happy. And this is one that makes me happy. It took me 2 weeks to cut out the fabrics for this because most of it was paper piece. The palm trees, the cabins, the cabanas, all that was paper piece. But what this quilt had that thrilled me was I made changes. And whether it was from turning these, like these were supposed to be just sandy roads, but I added grass up to the top one. And the closer you get to the beach, the more it's just sand. But also, I went nuts with all of the fun little doodads and had such fun. So let me show you my doodad. And, oh, yeah, I want to make sure that it didn't get unplugged. Okay, so I found shell buttons. I cut this out from fabric and used it to decorate one of the cabanas. I found this flag from a fabric and decorated it and cut it out carefully and then needle turned applicated on. I found buttons that were flip-flops to decorate with. I found all these fabric things. Then look at this sandcastle button. Look at the shovel and a bucket, a beach ball that I put trapunto under. Look at all of this. Even this little clam button. Look at this clamshell button and a little sailboat to put on that cabana. Then here is my underwater part, and I had such fun. I found fabrics that had the main design, but then I appliqued this seahorse on it. I appliqued this anemone and fish. See this? A starfish and anemone? That's a little patch I appliqued on. There's another seahorse. I had the best time with this. So I just wanted to show you that if we do an undersea, get your mind working, get your creativity flowing. Like this is a different kind of water. Whoops. This is a different kind of water I appliqued on top to make it look like the waves are on top. Here's a sea turtle that I had cut from a different fabric and appliqued on. And I just had so much fun. There are appliques like this starfish up on this cabin. This little, see, yeah, starfish. Then look at this. I cut out this bird and put him on the tree and the flowers. So even though this part is above the sea, you can do the same thing for your under the sea quilt. And be looking for different little fabric snippets. Look for little buttons. Look at this. This little glittery starfish button. Wouldn't that be great? I could sew it on the undersea quilt. So, and I could not find, at the time, I could not find seagulls. So with this seagull, let me zoom it in. Hold on a second, guys. Whoops. Come on. Where is he now? There he is. Whoops. Whoops. I almost have it. Oh, gosh. My little seagull, right? Whoops, here. See my seagull? I could not find fabric with a seagull. So what I did is I got some of that fabric, or you can even take a piece of fabric, iron it on freezer paper, run it through your printer, heat set it, and then put it on. And that's how I got my seagulls. Now, though, I've seen fabric that has seagulls on it. So let me push this back, guys, and let me show you some other things to get. I just want to get your imaginations going and get your enthusiasm up so that you will try this, because it is fun. Now, it took me 2 years to do that quilt because I took my time, and I did like I did with the LaFleur. I took and glued on the appliques right where I wanted them, and then I kept it up beside my chair upstairs, and over the period of 2 winters, I finished all my appliques, and I love that quilt. So be thinking about it. Now, so what I want to show you is a class I took in Lancaster, Pennsylvania 4 or 5 years ago. And this woman is Marjan Klupfel. And here are some of her quilts. She lives in California. She's originally from Denmark. And look at these photos. Aren't these great? And just get your mind going. Like, see the fabric, the ribbon that she did for that one plant there that's growing, the pale yellowy green one? Be thinking, Nadine is here. Oh, I love Nadine. And, oh, y'all are the best. So, but look at these wonderful ideas. Think about pipe cleaners. Think about fuzzy yarns. Look at this piece of yarn over here. But you see, she was the first person taking her classes where Judy Lilly first, and then Marjan, and I went, that's what I am. I'm an art quilter. I finally found who I was. Now, this is the quilt that I started working on when I took that class. And sadly, when I got back, I just tucked it away, and I've been too busy to mess with it. But I'm going to move back and show you the ideas that I got. And I might use this as my starting point and see what I can come up with. You ready? Hi, Diane57. You missed me saying sweet things about you. Okay. Here is my undersea quilt. The first one I ever started. And so I'm thinking, why don't I pick up with this? And I can change and alter it, anything I want to do. Okay, I wanted to show you little things. And this is just what I saw in passing by. But look at this lame. Isn't that beautiful? Look at this netting. Isn't that beautiful? In my landscape containers, I have about 4 containers: sand, water, white sky, beach themes, everything. Now, what I'm thinking for Thursday night, why don't we do a sea exchange? You know, you've heard of block exchanges. And why don't we do this? Why don't we consider doing an underwater exchange? And we can figure out how you want to do it. But if you have some fabrics that have fishes and turtles and different things like that, and you want to cut little pieces to share, I know I have a ton to share, then we can work out something. Maybe you mail them in an envelope. I want to be able to mail them with just a stamp. I don't want to get expensive. But maybe you have a few little things you could cut out. Maybe you mail them to me, and then I add them with mine, and I send them out to whoever wants to participate. If you send some, you get some back. Okay, that would be the rule. You have to donate to get some. But I'm looking to see, I'm thinking this is part of it. And these are kind of anemones and different under the water fans. But it's been a while since I took the class. And let me see. Oh, yeah, I think she's got all kinds of little patterns here. Now, I can't use her pattern, but I can make my own patterns, or you can go buy her pattern. I think I paid $10 for it, or you can make your own pattern. But I can give you ideas. And let me point down to this. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a whole different class. Hold on. This is altogether different. Okay, pardon me. But some of these fabrics are good to show you. See these? I would take certain fabrics in certain colors and then iron fusible on them. And then they're all ready for me to cut up and use. But this was from a different class where sadly I lost interest, which sometimes happens, and that's okay. But anyway, this was a different class. This was for, I'll show you. It was for an iris design, but I didn't like the fabric I chose. So I will try to probably make this again, but big iris pattern, because I think it would actually be beautiful, but I have to do a better job of shopping. It's hard sometimes. This class, I shopped before I went, but you're really not sure what you're doing. Let me show you. Here's the pattern. And I just didn't quite get the right fabric. And I'm not sure who makes this pattern. I'm not sure whose pattern this is. Let me see, so in case if any of you want it. But let's see. Who designed this? Donna Poster. Let me hold it up and show you. Pattern by Donna Poster. So if you would like to make this beautiful, and it's big and bold, and it's a great way to start learning how to do big fabric applique. All right, but I'll pull it out sometime and show you, because you know what? Maybe you can help me figure out how to rescue it. So this all came, pardon me, but this came from a different class. Here is Marjan's Seascape. Polly, yes. Your best bet, Miss Polly, is to go online. And I'm going to say this, batiks are, if I had to recommend one fabric group for doing art or landscape quilts, it would be batiks. The reason is you get so much change of value and tone and color in one fabric. So keep in mind, but try to go online. Hi, and you know what? I didn't even realize Polly's here. Hi, Polly. So Marjan Seascapes. Now let me see if I can find information on Marjan. In fact, I think I'm taking a class from her in April if the coronavirus doesn't get in the way. So, and so far as the coronavirus, just keep your pantry stocked and keep your medicines. Keep your medicines up to date. In fact, if you can, get 3 months supply of your medications. Just watch a number of different news stations. Oh, look at this. With her pattern, you get, look at these. Isn't that great? So this is Marjan Klupfel. Klupphel. And she's amazing. And she does classes for not Martelli. Who does the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Show? That group out of Philadelphia. So, anyway, but these are just some wonderful ideas. Now, are these realistic plants and fish that you can go find? Probably not. But does it matter? Probably not. Because this is your fantasy. It's for you to have fun. And that's what I'm going to do. I took one summer class in high school, marine biology. And, I'll have to tell you some of my stories sometime. But I almost drowned. I was an excellent swimmer, but I got too exhausted. But I'll have to tell you that story one day. But we went off the East Coast, and we went off of Key West, Florida, 7 miles off the coast of Florida, and I was out diving, and it was wonderful. So if I had been more interested in the fish and less in boys, it would have been even better. But so anyway, but be thinking and grabbing little things, and don't just grab greens and blues because they're not going to show that much. Think of pinks and reds and purples and start collecting your photos off of the internet. Make yourself a folder and then let's get ready. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be a blast. And I am also, I told the other group, and a giant octopus. And somebody else thought of a manatee and dolphins and sea turtles. And you know what I'm thinking? A whale. So we have all exciting things to be thinking about. And this is going to be a lot of fun. So look through your boxes. Did you make your children's outfits when they were little? Do you have any appliques of seahorse or a little sailboat or anything? Do you want to try to learn how to take a... what is it? When I make my butterflies, I put a water-soluble stabilizer in a hoop, and I draw. You have to draw with a permanent pen because water-based will melt it. And then you can make your own. You don't have to invest money. You just to get your threads out, and you can make your own little appliques to put under it. So anyway, but I think it would be fun, and I'm willing to make this agreement with you. I will get out my specialty fabrics and I'll cut out little things, little fishes and seahorses and all that. And I will also get my Angelina fibers and share with you. So if you have to prove you're trying to make something, and then I will send you a little, as long as I can send them out in a little envelope and a stamp, I'm going to do it. So Thursday nights, we'll talk some more about this, and I'll post some things as I get them on our site. So I'm so excited you're all here. What time is it now? We've got time, actually. Let's go look at our photos so that people who have to leave early can still see them. And then after that, I'll tell you more about what I'm going to do with my mandala quilt. So let me go turn off the overhead light. I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Now let's get to it. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, gosh. The flight from USA to Australia is a long one. Okay. Now let me pull up. All right. Hold on 1 second, please. I'm looking to see. There's Chris's. I'm going to bring up Chris's Russell video so you can see it.
Where'd Russell go? There he is! There's Russell. Whoa, where'd he go? Where'd Russell go? Oh no! There he is!
I'll play it again. Don't worry.
I thought you disappeared, bud. Oh, where's Russell? He's gone. There's Russell.
Okay, let me show this again.
Where'd Russell go? There he is! There's Russell. Whoa, where'd he go? Where'd Russell go? Oh no! There he is! There's the boy. I thought you disappeared, bud. Oh, where's Russell? He's gone. There's Russell.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, buddy.
And I love hearing my son's voice with that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to your photos. So let me hop up here. All right. Here we go. Nadine has to usually leave early, so I'm going to pull hers up so she can be here to see hers. I love Miss Nadine's. It doesn't look like, I hope you can see these without them being too dark. Let me see. Whoops, never mind. Okay. Whoops. Okay, here we are. Let me see if I can enlarge this, Miss Nadine. I love looking at her setup and looking at her quilting frame and machine. Isn't that beautiful? She loves. Oh, are these the houses you were putting together row by row? Oh, they're gorgeous. Now, I'm wondering, did you do machine applique? But look at the applique, the apple, the pear, cherries. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Beautiful job, Miss Nadine. You know, I don't often have a chance to look at them closely. Now look at this girl's quilting. She's a young one and she says she's relatively new, but that is talent. Beautiful, Nadine. Beautiful. Let's see what else Miss Nadine has. Oh, here's the fabric. This, I bet you, is going to be the backing. She has beautiful taste, traditional, kind of what I would call colonial Williamsburg style here stateside. Absolutely gorgeous. I love that fabric. Oh, look at this. I'm glad she put in one of her appliques so we can see it. Whoops. Let me bring this up. Oh, gee. That's beautiful, sweetie. That is simply beautiful. Looks like it's a machine applique, but done very, very nicely and carefully. Just beautiful. I love that. Okay, I think that's all for Miss Nadine. Thank you so much for showing those to us, Nadine. Oops, I closed out the whole window, so let me go back. Come on. I'm wondering, my mouse battery might be getting a little worn out. Oh, and wait till I show you this. I hope Miss Jody's still here. Okay, this is going to be a progressive photo for you to see. Okay? Come on, picture. Okay, here we go. This was an earlier one when she thought about adding a little humor to her hummingbird work. And I'm going to show you as it moves through. Because she sent me her final picture. Here it is. Is this great or what? I love that. So now not only do you have the beautiful hummingbird, but you also have a little bit of that humor with it. And her letters are great. Very easy to read. Excellent. Now, she's thinking of joining in on our undersea adventure. And look what she's got. It's a sea turtle. That's going to be so exciting. And look at her kitty. And that fabulous. Look at that fabric. That's wonderful. That fabric also looks like what the ocean, when it's got a little dimpling of the water and the sun shines on it. That's fabulous water fabric. Oh, thank you so much for sending that to us. Love your table. Looks like an IKEA. Beautiful. I love the kitty too. All right. Now let's see where we're going now. We'll go to Miss Diana's. And she's got, oh my gosh, Miss Diana. Is she? Well, she's always busy. But oh my goodness. Oh, and I think, wait a minute. Let me see. Oh no, I lost it. I had tried to save, I'm sorry, Miss Diana. I tried to save a screenshot where she was on Fat Quarter Shop on the blog, but unfortunately something shut it down. But here is her elephant quilt. Is this just wonderful? And I think she said this was an Aditya Sitar pattern. Just beautiful. I love it. And there's a song that is all about the elephant march or something. And I could see playing that song when you look at that quilt. Here is a picture of a quilt that she had from her site before, but she was showing us the beautiful quilting on the eagle. She's very involved with Quilts of Valor. In fact, this week she did an urgent, her son came home and told her about a soldier who's having problems with a cancer diagnosis. And so Diana, being the sweetheart she is, jumped right in to make him a quilt. But isn't that beautiful? I love those elephants. Love them. Okay. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, look at this. Okay. This is the one she started immediately for that young soldier. She's got a heart as big as the state she lives in, Texas. This is the bag that they showed on Fat Quarter Shop yesterday from a photo she sent in to the Facebook part of the group. This is an amazing diaper bag that she took and cross-hatch quilted. Oh my gosh, just amazingly. Little tiny cross hatches. And the way she put it together and the skill she did with the zippers and the sections, and it is better than anything you could buy. I mean, it is just amazing. Handles, a shoulder handle, if you wanted to just carry it with one of your hands. She's even got a strap to put it over her stroller. Amazing, amazing. So I can't even imagine what she would have to sell that for, because it's so beautiful. And I mean, she just puts her whole heart into it. Oh, this is neat. These are probably the pieces that she's using, that she's bringing out to put together for that young man's quilt. I bet you she's saved extra blocks from different things. And that way, she's already got a head start on the next quilt. And here is her elephant quilt. It looks like it's on the frame, about ready to come off, I bet. Just beautiful. Whoops, come on. I'm sorry, my mouse is not very responsive. Here is another view of that tote that she made. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful, Diana. Wow. And she said that somehow it matches the baby's room or something like that. And here is the handle that will attach it to a stroller. Look at that. Isn't that great? I mean, she thinks of these things. It's wonderful. All right. Let me see. Is there any? Oh, yep, there's another one. Oh, yep, that's just waiting to see if she wants. She's not going to have time to do a bird quilt, but we always hope. But I love her zippers and her insets, and I mean, it's just beautiful. This is a quilt she made this week, and it is lovely. Lovely. I think she's going to save this one for the future. Ah, there it is, all done. How beautiful. How beautiful. There's the back of it. Quilters always love to see the back because that's when you can see the designs on it. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. All right. I think that was the last one of hers. So let me go to Kathleen. We've got some pretty things from Miss Kathleen. This is a hummingbird quilt that she made out of a kit. Is that beautiful or what? I love that. Beautiful, Kathleen. Then here is a quilt she made of her mother's life. All photos from so one she's working. I love the delicate shape of the appliques. Beautiful. And then this one really caught my eye. This quilt that she's doing grape appliques for the center. But look all that's going on. Look at the numbers of all unique different blocks. Look at the log cabin border. I've never seen a log cabin border. Then the big stars in the corners. This is a gorgeous quilt, and I hope that soon she will show us when it's all finished. This is the book. Her Mother's Memory Quilt is in this book. How cool. I can't imagine having my quilt in a book. That's fabulous. Way to go. All right. Miss Kathleen's very talented. All right, here's from Kim, our Kim Burris. This is a fun quilt. Look at this thing. Isn't that great? I love it. It's bright, fun. It reminds me of the new modern quilts where it's very clean but fun. Okay. Here's a Dresden from Miss Kim. And this is a pieced Dresden. Look at that. I think she called it a basket weave Dresden. I'm not sure. But that is awesome. And this is where the points, you fold them and stitch them, and then that way you flip them, the inside out, the top's inside out. Makes it really, really nice to finish them. And then here is a beautiful string quilt she made. I'm becoming a real fan of string quilts, guys. I'm becoming a real fan of string quilts. And I love the piano key border. I love piano key borders. Okay. Thank you, Miss Kim, for sharing these. I love getting your photos. I go over to the site, or you can send them directly to me. Maureen got so excited about this undersea challenge that she went to homesew.com and found this fabric. And see, you can either use the fabric as it is, or you can cut the fish out and the plants out and applique them on your own background. And then look at these cute appliques she found. So there are all possibilities. Thank you, Maureen, for sharing that, hon. Now, let's see. We got Nadine's. I think we've seen Patricia's. Yes, saw Patricia's. And Rebecca A. Rebecca is a paper bead maker who happened to see my paper bead making video. And I asked her if she could send her photos because I'm always curious. What do other people do with their paper and their bead making? So she was kind enough to share this. Very talented paper bead maker. I'm really tickled for her. And I've got two more here. Look at the different variety. Look at all of these different beads. It's amazing. So nice work. I wouldn't even know where to begin to make some of these beads. Excellent job. And then this I found fascinating. She's gotten old books of no importance and uses their pages to make beads out of. How cool for a teacher or an avid reader to have a necklace made of word beads. So thank you so much for sharing those with us, Rebecca. Okay, and then I want to show you Miss Sonia's. Today, I happened to catch this one. It is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. She loves cross stitch and things. And look at that delicate bird. Is that the most beautiful thing? I'm trying to decide, is it a house finch or it's beautiful. She's going to frame this. But that's the kind of work that is very meticulous. This is her Stellaris quilt, and I just wanted to show you. You won't see this on Deb's Stellaris. Deb's will be done, but Deb's is not going to be immaculate like this one. It's just absolutely, absolutely gorgeous, Miss Sonia. She does work that I can never hope to even do. So I just admire her work very, very much. And you can see where her points line up all the way across. My points don't line up, but hers do. What I mean is where they're supposedly coming close to each other right there. And that's a hard thing to do because they're all separate pieces and blocks. But she's a very, very talented person. Also notice, do you see where you see all of her points? They're all showing. And mine, various stages of being cut off. So she's very, very talented. That takes a lot of work. It takes somebody who slows down and does it precisely. Beautiful, beautiful work. Okay. Then I think there's just mine. What do I have? I've shown you. Yeah, I think I've shown you just about all of these. And this is, I showed this Thursday night. This is a stargazer lily that someone won third place in a quilt show. And I just wanted to show you what you can do with paint, applique, accessorizing a quilt. This is not a photograph. This is her interpretation from a photograph she took. And I just think that's amazing. So I like to show you things to inspire you anytime I get a chance. All right. I'm pretty sure I showed you Mildred's quilt. So, and here's the woman who made the Stargazer Lily. I like to always show you the credit for the person who made it because they deserve to have their name mentioned. I think that's phenomenal. Okay. So congratulations, Andrea. Beautiful work. All right. Now let me put you back up here. That was fun. That was fun. Thank you so much to all of you who shared your work. Because we get inspired by it. Please always share your work. Even if you don't want to join the group, that's fine. We would love to see what you do. And so just send your work email pics to ourtimetoquilt at twc.com, and I'll show it on Sunday. I will show it with great pride. All right, so let me close that out. And let's see. So, Deb, can you send an email to check on Akko? Yeah, I had thought about that. I didn't know if she'd gotten busy with her music, but I do miss her. I do miss her a lot. Bonnie, thank you for spending some time with us. Bonnie's a busy lady, but I'm so proud of her. She's worked hard. She's planned. She's preparing for her retirement. And if anyone deserves a happy retirement, if any of you are familiar here with our Bonnie, she's the most generous woman that you could ever want to meet. And she's always thinking of things she can do to make others happy. And so we wish her all great things when she retires. She'll still be with us, don't worry. But she's going to be busy for a bit. So I know that the university where she works will miss her terribly. So yay for Miss Bonnie. She's a doll baby. Okay. So yeah, it's probably about time for me to get going too. I'm sorry. Anything you want to talk about? Let me give you at least a good 5 more minutes so that you have a chance to ask me something if you'd like to. So anybody? Michelle Lang is here. Yay. Michelle, is my dear friend who I used to sew with, and I miss her terribly, terribly, terribly. So, and Bonnie really helped the start of this group. When I started doing the live streams, I didn't know what I was doing. And she tried to keep me straight and keep me focused, gently reminding me, keeping me on track. And she's been our cheerleader from the beginning. So I just love her so much. So, okay, any questions? I'm going back to see. So this is great. This is great. I think I'm going to make some beef stroganoff. I've got some roast beef or stew beef up there. I'm going to have to cook it a little bit, but I love stroganoff. I love anything in a creamy sauce over pasta. Yeah. So anybody have any good cooking ideas that you're going to do? But let me show you this quilt that I found to finish this off. I think it's going to be really pretty, and it's going to have my mandala in the center. But what you do is you cut your fabric, put it into strip sets, and then cut them as they tell you to, and then boom, you get to make it's a 9-patch, but it's, what would you call it, an offset 9-patch or a different size. But I thought this would be great. And I want to show you, see the blocks in between. Maybe it looks more like a courthouse step, but see these blocks in between? They are perfect to feature. They're perfect to feature the big flowers. Because when you get a big print like this, you hate to chop it all up. You want to showcase these peonies. Anybody notice what I just did? Peony. I looked up the correct pronunciation. I'm trying to learn. Peony, not peony. Peonies. So I was hoping Maureen would be proud of me. And, Cheryl Lemons. Yay, Cheryl, we missed you, sweetheart. We missed you a lot. So, but anyway, peony. See? You can teach old dogs new tricks. So, fridge empty and clean now? Oh, that's right. Because you know what? Oh, poor Kathleen. Her car broke down and she had to have it towed and it cost a fortune. Oh, Kathleen, we'll be thinking about you, darling. It's little things like that. And Mark, was listening to something on NPR on the radio on the way home the other day. And this is what we need to, when we talk about being kind and being compassionate, here's your sermon for today. And he said that people who are in a poverty bracket where they can't afford a car, because he said that they did studies that cost $8,500 a year to own a car. If you're only making $20,000, you can't afford to take $8,500 out of that for a car. He said that what we don't remember when we get frustrated or aren't cognizant of what it means to live in poverty is you have to rely on friends or family or public transportation, and that it ends up eating hours out of your day because you can't just go to the store. You've got to get to the bus stop, wait for the bus, then go through the route to finally get to the store. Get to the store, get your stuff, come back to the bus stop, wait for a bus, wait to go around the route to get back home. Or if a friend takes you, you've got to wait until they make all of their stops. Well, hon, how are you supposed to manage your life and make it better? You get into a trap. And so it's so easy sometimes to say, well, those people just need to pull themselves up. Well, it's really hard when you don't even have the tools that you need to do it. So be kind, be thoughtful, and understand some people have to really go through a lot. Our dear Kathleen, not having a car, she can go right out and get what she wants. That is so frustrating, and it makes life harder. And so if we can just give a little kindness, a friend needs a little ride, give them a ride. Anything you can do to make someone else's life easier makes your day richer. So that's my sermon for today. So anyway, but we love you, Kathleen, and we hope that something can work out with your car soon, because that's not fun. I mean, just when you think you're getting ahead, something happens. I looked out at our roof the other day, and we're missing corners of about 12 to 15 roof shingles. Like Mark, not only is our air conditioning system over 40 years old, but now we've got a roof that's going to need to be replaced within a year or two. So, oh, Michelle, Michelle might remember. Michelle, do you remember me making this beach quilt? And I even did a class over a period of 7 months with the group to do it. But it's so much fun. So much fun. Lisa Cape and Quilts is here. Woo! Hi, Miss Lisa. So anyway, y'all are amazing. You've been making sausage and gravy since you were 12. Oh, that is yummy. I do enjoy that. I do. So, Susan's my cutie pie. But Vicki Lemire, you're here. I didn't even see you earlier. must have been busy flapping my jaws. So anyway, I hope you all have a very good week. Don't forget, we're going to finish up our avian quilts and start our undersea quilts. So be looking and gathering stuff. It can be right under your nose and you didn't even realize. So, and you can make a fish out of anything. So anyway, I figured you might remember it. But anyway, it is so good to see all of you. Mariella Barnes, it's so good to see you. And we have a couple new people in our IO group, so make sure to always say hi to them. And just keep a watch on this coronavirus. And make sure you get good information. Don't just watch news from one place. If you know what I mean, get good information, because information is what we need to be able to stay ahead of this, okay? We can do it. The other day when I realized they said who would be in the high-risk category, I would be. So that's one of the reasons I'm cautious, with my asthma and diabetes, and honestly, my weight is part of what puts me at a higher risk, and my age. So we're all going to take care of each other. We're going to watch the news. We're going to wash our hands very carefully and avoid areas that might, have infection. But I'll keep you posted because it's too important. I love you all and want to take care of every one of you. So all we need is information. We don't need panic or fear, but we need information and accurate information. So I just love you all. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. If you're in a primary state, I voted. And I doubt she's going to be nominated, but I voted. And I voted down ballot too. So if you're in a primary state, please vote. Your vote matters. You can't complain if you don't vote. We all have to do our part more than ever. So love you all and take good care. Yep. Wash your hands. I mean, good. Wash them 20 seconds at least. Good. So take good care of yourself. You mailed your vote, Kathleen. Yay. Now, see, if she can mail her vote because she doesn't have, her car's not working, then you can vote too. So take good care of yourselves. All your voice matters. All of our opinions matter. So take good care. Do something kind for yourself this week. I'll put it that way. Do something kind. I know I want to go see a movie. I'll try to get my matinee old lady rate and get a box of popcorn and go sit in the dark and just let my imagination go away with me. So do something special just for you this week. Mwah. Take good care. Bye, all of you. Thank you for everything. Diane 57, you're a doll baby. So take care, everybody. Take care, Miss Susan. There you go. Susan will set you straight. She knows exactly what to do. They talked about making sure washing under your fingernails. Oh, and also don't touch your face. I'm really bad at touching faces. Learn to keep your hands off your face and wash those hands. Take good care. Bye, everybody. Have a great week, and I hope it warms up for you. Spring is 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away. Take care, everybody. Bye, Michelle. Mwah. Bye, everybody. Bye, Kathleen. Bye, everybody. Mwah. Bye. Good job, Sonia, for voting. Woo! Yay, everybody. Bye-bye.